Good morning, Keto Morning here. It is Monday morning and this is a Whips and Foes video. So I'm going to try not to drag this out too awful long. So I'm going to try to go as quick as I can. So first thing for my whip, one of my whips. I am working on this wrap that I got from the Annie's Hook and Needle Club. I don't have the pamphlet with me. It's upstairs. This was the 3 rolls of yarn, and I'm through with, this is what I've got left in the first roll, so I'm getting ready to start the second roll. So this is it so far. And I really like it. It took me I'd say a few tries. The first couple of rows I had to frog a couple of times before I finally figured out the pattern, because I'm not great at reading patterns. I mean, I know what they all mean, I just get confused by them. So I finally got it down, and the way I practice, after I ripped it out a couple of times, I decided to just use regular yarn. So I decided to go ahead and use regular yarn until I got it down. Then I switched to this, because this is really thin yarn. Well, I mean, it's not real thin. In some spots it is pretty thin, but they suggest using a K-hook on it, and I don't do well when it comes to small yarn, big hook. But I'm finally used to it. Got 2 more rolls to go. So yeah, I really like this. So this is my first whip. Second whip for right now is going to be more like a UFO. I haven't decided if it's going to be a whip or a UFO. Probably going to be a UFO. But this is it. I have just gotten stuck on it. Well, now with all these things hanging, it makes it a little too heavy. So it's upside down because the bobbins make it too heavy. So I don't know if I can lay it on me. Okay. So this is one of the, it's a Marvel thing, Black Panther. This is supposed to be a Black Panther, and I am stuck on this one row. I have counted and counted the previous row, and I keep coming up right on the previous row. All of my stitch counts and color changes are correct in the previous row. The row I am on now, I am not getting it right, and it's not coming out, and it's just frustrating me. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have to set it aside for a little bit, and maybe when I come back to it, you know, refreshed, it'll be better. Which is what I usually end up doing. If I get too awful frustrated with a project, I just put it away for a while and come back to it. Okay, so I've got these finished objects, and the only thing not finished about them is the strings that need to be sewn in on most, or well, some of them. So here's the coasters. I left one of the coasters upstairs. So these are the coasters, and these are all done. There was a lot of strings, you know, because of all the color changes. So these are the coasters. There's 4 of them, just one of them is upstairs. And these are the placemats. There are 4 of them, and I think I got all the strings sewn in on these. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it looks like I got all of these done. Oh, there's the other coaster. I have one upstairs too, so I had 5 coasters, I guess. But yeah, here are the placemat with the matching coasters. So, Christmassy. And this is a finished object, but I still have to sew in these strings. So this was, and I have the pamphlet down here for this one. This was the Annie's Hook and Needle, the first one I got, and I struggled a lot with this pattern. So I made the first washcloth using this pattern, but it still ended up looking different. I ended up doing the stripes different. So with the rest of the yarn, I just made my own. I just did my own thing, and I used the falling leaves pattern on these. So I ended up with 6 of these. And I just need to sew the strings in. And I really wish that Annie's sold this yarn separately, you know, not being in the kits. I don't know. I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find it. I really, really love this cotton so much. Oh my gosh, I love it. And I mean, it is way softer than like the lilies and the peaches and cream. Those are not really soft as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned rather. So I really like these. I love the way they turned out. And last but not least, I'm not gonna bother showing my my blanket, my WIP that I'm doing for my niece, because I've shown that several times and I'm not all that much further than I was last time I showed it, so I'm gonna wait a while. But for my finished object that I'm really not entirely too happy with, but it's cute anyway, here is my bear. My stitches were way too big on this bear, because you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but you can see the polyfill in the stitches. So the stitches were way too big back here. I'm still not good at joining like this. I mean, I don't mind if the body and then the head are in one piece, but I don't like joining them because I always end up with a stretched neck instead of a bear that sits on top of the body like this. For some reason I have a hard time getting that. And I don't know, pretty loose there on the legs. I feel like they would just rip right off. And I did my own nose. I mean, it's a solid nose, but it's kind of shaped funny. And I did little, you know, cutouts for the little cutout felt for the whites of the eyes. So this is my finished object, and it's way bigger than I thought it would be. So yeah, pretty big. So there you go. That is my WIPs and Faux. I am going to be starting another hippo. I'm going to do a hippo like the turquoise and multicolored one that I did before. I really, really liked that one. So I'm going to do another one, but it's going to be pink and white with little green dots in it. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. If you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate that. See you next time. Bye.